so good. Look at yourselves. Damn. Anyway, my name is Curtis, and I'd just like to put out a disclaimer. I didn't come up with his real name. I don't know if she did. There was no subtweet or something. I don't know. Anyway, for those of you who don't know who I am, allow me to introduce myself. I am born from the first spark that was lightning struck between stones, lighting the lightweight to enlightenment, whispers of wisdom blowing lightly on the soul to light the flame that burned back before black became skin. Skinned lines on our backs, backtrack, struck between stones, struck between stoners. The blood always crosses to the left, so my mind always comes right when I'm about to write these rhymes that bust like buster, busting through ignorance. Bust! You don't know who I am, I'll tell you who I am. I am that confidence that told you to go in for that kiss, even though you knew she was way out of your league. But at the bottom of the water bottle that comes after that fish out of water that you probably really shouldn't have had. If you want to know who I am, I will tell you who I am. I am. Insert cool stage name here. I don't have one. Anyway, guys, this poem that I'm about to do, I thought I'll start out with like one of my favorite songs there. So like if you know it, you can just turn in. I can't run out. That's all it is. Cigarettes on cigarettes. My mama think I stink. I got burn nose in my hoodies. My homies think it's thing. I miss my cocoa butter kisses. There we go. One day, as a man lay in the sanctuary of his bed next to a woman he had just had relations with, he reached over and he pulled out a cigarette from his pocket and he put it in his mouth and he lit it up. She looked at him and she asked him a question as though she were asking the answer to a question as old as time itself. She said to him, "Darling, why is it that guys always smoke cigarettes after sex?" He looked at her, and as the smoke danced, as though he were putting on a performance for the two of them, he smiled and said to her, "Darling, it only makes sense that after experiencing the world's greatest pleasure, a man should experience the world's second greatest pleasure." Now, this logic eluded me, as it eludes most of you right now, until I met her. Little Miss Siggy. Now, I presume all cigarettes be women for two reasons. One, in the 21 years that I have been alive, women are the only creatures that I've ever laid eyes upon that can lead a man to his own death and make him enjoy every single step of the way. Two, the second reason is there's no way I'm admitting to having a man in my mouth. So, when I met this girl, right, in the beginning I had heard tales of her magical touch, how it made slaves of men. My body was a temple, and this temple had a strict no whore policy. But like all good whores, no, she tricked me and she confused me with her flips and her tricks, her curls and her curves. But my body was a temple, and this temple had a strict no whore policy. And so I told her I wasn't looking for anything serious, but by the end of the night, she had tarnished my confidence and my resistance with her tar, and I fell for her. Like a 3-year-old riding her bicycle for the first time, I fell for her, and I haven't gotten up since. You see, she has her nicotine noose wrapped around my neck, and I love it. At least I think I love it. I'm sure whether I smoke because I love it or because I love it because I'm addicted. See, I'm drowning in the smoke of her nicotine kisses, and I think I love it, but I'm sure that I'm addicted, but aren't we all? Remember that girl I told you about, who was about 4 drinks away from the third mistake that she's made in 2 nights? You see, the alcohol was her prescription. The men who knew her G-spot before, her favorite color, were her condition. But her attention was her one addiction. You see, she craved it. Whenever this world told her that her skin was a tone too dark to be called beautiful, whenever they told her that her hips were too much woman to be loved, she craved it. And no dress was too tight, no heels were too uncomfortable to get her next fix. She craved it. And no matter how many men she had in her, she could never fill that void. And they gladly obliged her. Why? Because they too were addicted. Addicted to the moans and groans of the women whose twin towers they crashed their pelvises into. You see, their addiction, it was driven by the praise of their peers. They were addicted to it. That man, that guy who sits quietly, who respects women, and who treats them like the queens and princesses that they are. He too is addicted. You see, for him, women on the internet have always seemed to be more attractive than women in real life. You see, they were able to please every whim of his twisted imagination at the click of a button. Even him, he too drinking away his insecurity since he was 16. At the bottom of every bottle came a shot of confidence that he needed. He was always the life of a party whenever he drank, but life after the party always seemed lifeless. And so he craved his next fix, he craved his next drink so that he could go back to being the man that he wants to be, the man that he can never be sober.
Yeah.
And the moral of the story is, I think we all addicted. Yeah. I think we all addicted. Read it though. I think we all addicted. Cigarettes on cigarettes. My mama think I stink. I got burnos in my hoodies. All my homies think it stink. I miss my cocoa butter kisses. And as I walk outside after this performance, I will stand outside and I will probably pull out a cigarette from my pocket and indulge in my addiction, because if I am going to die, fuck it, I'm going to enjoy every step along the way. Thank you.